Hello and welcome. You are watching Bangalore Akhbar with my colleague Asif. This is Ashfaq Ahmed Siddiqui. Ever since Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, the entire world, the national and the international media is keeping a very tight vigil and flashing the news every second minute. Here the subject is the restoration of peace and the biggest subject is human rights. Since last couple of days we've been publishing the news regularly. And today, to continue this further, we have with us an internationally acclaimed speaker, the master of ceremonies, Dr. Abbas with us, a flamboyant personality. Let's welcome him. Sir, welcome to Bangalore Akhbar and our first maiden discussion.
Thank you very much, Ashfaq Saab. It's an absolute honor to be a part of Bangalore Akhbar, and I wish your viewers all the best. And normally you do it in the end, but I'd like to tell all the viewers, please like, share and subscribe and give a thumbs up to Bangalore Akhbar. It's the next big thing. Watch out.
थैंक यू सो वेरी मच सर. जो डेवलपमेंट्स अभी अफगानिस्तान में हो रहे हैं, जो तालिबान है, अब का जो तालिबान है, द ट्रांसफॉर्म, द रीवैम्प, द रिफर्बिश जो हम कह रहे थे, फर्स्ट थिंग आई जस्ट वांट टू आस्क यू, द acquisition of Taliban, is it invasion or aggression?
I truly believe that, to come respectfully, we don't see that happening here. यहाँ पे हम क्या देखते हैं, बंदूक की नोक पे तालिबान जो है, they acquire. Yes, by many international media, it's called a bloodless coup. Without killing, without shedding of blood, they have come into the power. But the fact of the matter is, this is an acquisition of sorts where they have definitely, the fact of the matter, I'll tell you, Ashfaq Saab, when you, in a photo opportunity, in the presidential palace, when you pose with a gun, that does not send the right feeler to the people who are watching it, nationally, internationally, domestically, or even otherwise. So that gives a different perspective. I would have said to the Taliban, if you want to give the right narrative, the right political communication, it should have been without the arms. Because an armed Taliban will remind you of the Taliban which was 20 years back. The Taliban which believed in terrorizing the people to govern. I think that should have been, there should have been a much better communication narrative, which is happening now from the spokesperson.
Okay. The incident that happened at the tarmac of Kabul runway, was it the fear of the 20 years, this new Taliban regime not able to convince the locals?
There are a couple of conspiracy theories there, many of whom I'm saying that those who tried to fled are those people who are anti-Taliban. They're also saying that these are the people who were Khabri, the informers to the government of Ghani or Hamid Karzai, who were against the Taliban. There are also conspiracy theories which are being said that those who do not believe in Taliban or the governance, they try to flee, and it is very shocking. It was shameful. It was very unfortunate to see people losing their life on the tarmac, unfortunately, with the panic situation there.
So if that was the reason, if you heard yesterday or day before yesterday that general amnesty been already announced by the new regime of Taliban, then everybody is pardoned, irrespective of the kind of sins they have committed. So why is that still the fear is there in the people of Afghanistan that they want to leave the place and go away once and for all?
Absolutely. I admire your question, Mr. Ashfaq, and I must say that Bangalore Akhbar, you seem to be the editor-in-chief, and I validate you. You've done your research. Absolutely. General amnesty being announced. Also, our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has acknowledged, and his team, his External Affairs Ministry, are in touch with the Taliban envoys to bring back the Indians who want to come safely. And in fact, there were also our Hindu brothers and Sikh brothers who were at the Gurudwara that the Taliban reached out to them and also told them that if you wish to be in Taliban, you're most welcome to be a part of the new Afghanistan, or if you wish to go to, we will fully cooperate and coordinate your arrival to India. Now looking at the larger perspective here, there are two shades. Why are people still panicky? Dar ka mahol kyun hai? Why are people still fearful? That fear is of what happened in the previous Taliban. The Taliban which did not respect women, the Taliban which treated women like doormats, the Taliban which brought in sex slavery of sorts, the Taliban which spoke with their guns, arms, ammunition. It was more of a banana republic where they shot along the gun style, which is definitely not the way a republican or a democratic country should function. That is what fears the people. Now, since the communication is there, I truly believe actions speak louder than words. Now the Taliban of today say that tabdili aayi hai, there is a change now, there is going to be development, there are going to be jobs, women are going to be part of the system, governance, in the media, so on and so forth. Let us see what this Taliban can do.
If you have observed yesterday, the spokesperson of Taliban, Suhail Shah, in statements that the peace will be restored, the women will be allowed to work, the children, particularly the kids, the young girls, they're allowed to go to school. Have they still failed to convince the people? Because in 2018, the agreement that signed in Doha, the people already know in Afghanistan that somewhere today or tomorrow the regime is going to change. 3 years of time, they didn't get an opportunity to convince the local people, or they don't have that communication kind of a level, or just because they always carry the gun and go, that is the only reason that people still have the fear.
Absolutely. The fact of the matter, where the communication comes through a lot of symbolics. If you see a symbolic, if I'm a man who's well dressed, communicating well, soft spoken, people will not fear me. But if I'm a man who's having gun and arms, what is the communication? Without communicating, you're communicating a message that where is the need for a gun. So therefore the narration which goes out is different. It is more physical, it is more on a violent level, it is more on an assault level. So therefore I would say, if this Taliban, which is in the forefront now with all the communication, their abilities, the spokesperson also coming and giving the interview, look at the optics here. He did not get interviewed by a male. He got interviewed by a woman Afghan presenter, showing that there is tolerance here, there is acceptance here. So that is something which needs to be understood. I would say that this message which needs to go out to all the people, the message of general amnesty, the message of Taliban calling out for peace, the message Taliban calling out for development. But the fact of the matter, I do not blame the citizen, I do not blame the people who are trying to flee, panic, because the Taliban of yesterday, which bombed the school kids, innocent school kids, the Taliban of yesterday, which killed a lot of innocent peoples, Taliban of yesterday, which raped a lot of women, killed children, that is what? Ye jo dehshat hai, Ashfaq Sahab, this terrorism of sort created by the Taliban previously is making it difficult for the people to survive, stay and accept the new Taliban.
Yesterday, we were in a discussion with a very big intellectual, renowned person, Mr. Shahryar Khan. When we talked about the Taliban, he mentioned that the bombing on the school was not because of the Afghan Taliban. It was an act of Pakistan Taliban. The present Afghan Taliban will never get into those kind of acts. And today, if we see the statement of Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of the Canada, he says that I'm still not able, they are not ready to accept Taliban. They are not ready to recognize. So it's only the China, which is as of now. And even if you see this British Prime Minister statement, ready to take 5,000 members. So where is it the Taliban is literally failing? Do they have to throw away the guns when they stand and talk to people, or they talk to the media? Is the main thing that the fear still amongst the people of Taliban? The Afghanistan?
Justin Trudeau, as a matter of fact, is one of the Prime Minister, he's from Canada, who I really admire. He also said that Canada is ready to intake 22,000 refugees who would like to come to Canada from Afghanistan. They are willing to provide the ration, food, and so on and so forth, amenities. Well, of course, he also said that recognition is going to be quite a problem. China will definitely want to recognize, because there's a big coup, there is a big hand of China in supporting Afghanistan here, and also its own benefits which comes along with it, a hand of Russia also, I'd say, and Joe Biden playing his own geopolitics, because it took 4 presidents of United States of America, trillions of dollars, 20 years back they disposed Taliban, and now Taliban is back. So I would say that you, Mr. Joe Biden, and all the George Bush Jr., Senior, all of them collectively have failed the people of Afghanistan. Now coming to this question, as to Taliban, will it be recognized? What do we see now? Taliban is indeed communicating. They're having relations, international relations with various countries. Various countries and embassies who are still in Afghanistan, they are freely willing to cooperate and coordinate is what they say. People will have a problem because of the history of Taliban. Now, if the Taliban has to reaffirm their faith, if the Taliban has to win back the faith of the people, what they are saying, they need to practice what they preach. They need to walk the talk. Only when they walk the talk, only when they कहने में और करने में बहुत फ़र्क है। अगर ये तालिबान जो कह रही है, अगर ये आगे जाके कर सकती है, एक्शन स्पीक लाउडर देन वर्ड्स, सो लेट्स वेट फॉर द एक्शंस ऑफ देम।
कल रात को इंडियन एयरफोर्स के प्लेन ने 150 इंडियंस को इवैक्यूएट किया था। द सरप्राइजिंग फैक्ट हियर इज दैट the people who escorted the Indians from the place to the airport are the Talibans. Is it a good step forward toward the peace and the well of friendship with India and the new Taliban? How should we call this? Taliban government or Afghanistan government? This is the biggest confusion with everybody.
Right. There is a distinction here. I honestly think that people should see the prism of Afghanistan in such a way that do not, I request especially gentlemen like you, gentlemen from other media places, do not associate Islam with Taliban.
Yes.
Please don't do that. Islam is what is personal to you. Islam is your faith. Taliban is an organization. Taliban is something, a get together of a certain ideology and idea. Let Taliban be seen in its own prism. Do not see it with the prism of Islam. Islam is what you see across the world. That is the first point. The second point, what I'd like to say is, being an Indian Muslim, I would certainly want my neighboring state or the country of Afghanistan to be peaceful. Let there be development there. India undoubtedly has contributed huge in Afghanistan. The parliament building is a gift of India on humanitarian grounds. 64
Sorry
provinces.
Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated it personally.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Brilliant, undoubtedly.
Yes.
So, yes, Modi ji and even several other governments before him as well, even the current ruling BJP government has also worked towards better relations with Afghanistan, which is good. Now the way forward, what is India's policy and interest will be for us to see how they go about. Now being the priority of the Indian government to safely bring back those people who want to come here and cooperate and coordinate with the current ruling people that no Indians are harmed. But one question to the Indian government will be, why sir that you only mention Hindus and Sikhs, why not the Muslims? I truly think if you're doing something on the humanitarian basis, मजहब को मत लाइए, धर्म को मत लाइए, सबसे खूबसूरत धर्म बस ये है कि इंसानियत का धर्म है। क्योंकि मैं बिलीव करता हूँ ना हिंदू बनेगा ना मुसलमान बनेगा, इंसान की औलाद है, इंसान बनेगा। आप इंसानियत की राह अपनाइए मोदी जी और जो भी तमाम वर्ल्ड के लीडर्स हैं, नथिंग ग्रेटर देन ह्यूमैनिटी।
क्या हम इसको ऐसे समझे कि सीए बैकडोर एंट्री, सीए बैकडोर एंट्री जो सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट जो है, जो डायरेक्ट लाने की जगह से इस तरह से डायरेक्टली इवैक्यूएट करके सीए की तरह लेके आ जाए।
बट सीए का बेसिस फंडामेंटली प्रॉब्लम ये है कि India, if you read the constitution and the preamble, India is a sovereign, socialist, secular republic.
Absolutely.
Secular. When secular का माना क्या है? Secular means that the state or the country does not have a religion of its own.
Yes.
It does not entail itself to any religion, but it will protect everybody's right to freedom of religion. All right? So when India is a secular nation, how can you give citizenship on the basis of religion? That is the first question that we need to ask Modi ji, Amit Shah ji. Even if you bring in CA, उसमें CA में क्या है? They will allow Hindus, they will allow Sikhs, Parsis, Christians, everybody, but they won't allow Muslims. So CA NRC is absolutely wrong. We Indians, we Muslims, we protest to it. So CA का यहाँ पे ज़्यादा निर्भरता नहीं है, क्योंकि in any which way they will not allow Muslims to come in, and CA में तो Muslims को citizenship देने का यहाँ पे कोई सवाल ही नहीं है इनका. So that is going to be a wrong prism for the Bharatiya Janata Party. But on humanitarian grounds, I urge the Modi government to kindly allow even Muslims who wish to come to India.
सर, अब रेस्टोरेशन की पीस की अगर हम बात करें अफगानिस्तान में, तो इंडिया हैज़ ऑलमोस्ट स्पेंड मोर देन 65 billion dollars in investments or grants or whatever you can say. Now India is going to be a long-term associate of Afghanistan. Now the problem here is of the Pakistan now. Earlier, Pakistan has the opportunity to make money through US because they gave the airspace and the land and all to fight against Afghanistan. Now there is no more fight at all. So what is Pakistan will take the stand? Will it sit just quiet, watching India becoming too close to Afghanistan?
The fact of the matter is that India has, as a matter of fact, done so much, like you just said, $65 billion in the development of Afghanistan, the roads, the highways, the transports, all of that. Even Mr. Nitin Gadkari had a huge role to play in that, in development. Pakistan is not even a tip of the iceberg of the contribution what India has done. Pakistan is not even a small iota of an idea, concept or execution what India has done. So Pakistan is only going to piggyback on China and see what its way forward is, because India is undoubtedly a sort of a soft superpower when you see the subcontinent, which has Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Myanmar, and of course Sri Lanka. So Pakistan's role here wouldn't be much. Where I see India is more progressive. India has done huge to Afghanistan, but what I see is India has nothing to worry with Afghanistan.
सर अभी हम चाइना और रशिया को साइड में रख देंगे.
Okay.
तो रेस्ट ऑफ द गल्फ कंट्रीज जो हमारी सऊदी अरब है, यूएई है, ओमान है, किसी ने अभी तक कोई क्लियर स्टैंड नहीं लिया. या तो ना वो रिकॉग्नाइज कर रहे हैं या वो डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं कि नो दिस इज स्टिल ए टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. तो ये क्या है, दोनों के बीच में रुके हुए हैं. और दैट इज व्हाई द पीपल ऑफ अफगानिस्तान मे बी कंफ्यूज्ड कि रुके तो रुके या निकल के चले जाएं.
I think definitely, like, you are inquisitive and you're curious to see what is going to be the answer of the Gulf countries, especially the Emirates, the Saudi Arabia, and of course other countries. I think from what my latest sources tell me, China is the only one who's officially come out and recognized the Taliban acquisition, as you
They did
call
it on 15th August itself.
Absolutely. That also sends in a
Yes.
lot of questions, rings a lot of bells. Nevertheless, but let me credit you, Mr. Ashfaq. I really validate that a man such as you who's interviewing me, you've done your research, which is fantastic. I truly think, as a concerned journalist and as a responsible journalist, you need to do good study. I think your homework has been brilliant, and your subject matter expertise of this subject has been fantastic. I think I should interview you sometime on this.
My honor that I'm sitting in front of you. Sir, मेरा बिगेस्ट कंसर्न है द वीमेन ऑफ अफगानिस्तान. सबसे बड़ा सब्जेक्ट ह्यूमन राइट्स की जब आती है तो इट्स ऑलवेज अबाउट द एट्रोसिटीज ऑन द वुमेन. जो हमने देखा 1996 से 2000 जो मीडिया में जो देख रहे थे, क्या वो रियल में था? क्योंकि एस्टरडे अगर हम सुहेल शाहीन का जो हम देखें, उन्होंने ये बताया था कि जो अट्रॉसिटीज ऑन वुमेन फ्रॉम तालिबान जो बताया गया था वो गलत बताया गया था इंटरनेशनल मीडिया की वजह से. अदरवाइज तालिबान तो औरतों की रेस्पेक्ट पहले से करता ही आ रहा है. अब एक नया स्टेटमेंट उन्होंने ये दिया है, अब हमारी औरतों को बुरखे की जरूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ हिजाब पहनकर काम करेंगे तो इट विल बी अलाउड. क्या तालिबान बदल रहा है?
Well, like I said, Mr. Ashfaq, previously we've all had bad memories of Taliban. Now we certainly see the spokesperson, Mr. Suhail Shaheen, coming and giving us a different opinion, that it is not mandatory for the women to wear a burqa, but hijab of sorts is fine. Also that women can be a part of the government, women can be a part of the media, and so on and so forth. And previously the women, atrocities against women, the insult for women, the slavery against women which was shown, he said, which was wrong, and Taliban respect for women. All of these sounds good to me, but let us see what is put in practice. Whether Mr. Spokesperson Suhail Shaheen, who is representing as a spokesperson of the Taliban, will these words hold true in the days to come? That is something to look out for. I will not pass a judgment as of now. Let me see how it turns out. And undoubtedly, if Afghanistan has to be a good nation, developing nation, a soft superpower, a power in the reckoning, a force to reckon with, a more formidable force, they have to give equal rights to women, equal respect to women. Only then they can aspire to be a country like India.
Sir, once an Indian Prime Minister had told Pakistan कि बंदूक के साये में बातचीत नहीं होती. इसी तरह से क्या तालिबान के लिए डेफिनेटली मस्ट है कि जब वो अपने लोगों से बात करें तो बंदूक को हटाकर बात करें. अदरवाइज ये फियर उनके माइंड में रहेगा ही, ये कंटिन्यू ही जाएगा, उसके कोई प्रॉस्पेरिटी नहीं आएगी. क्या कहेंगे आप?
एब्सोल्युटली अशफाक साहब, मेरा भी यही कहना है कि बंदूक की नोक पे आप जमहूरियत नहीं कर सकते, बंदूक की नोक पे आप लोकतंत्र चला नहीं सकते. इफ यू वांट टू रिमूव द फियर ऑफ द पीपल, अगर आप ये दहशत जो लोगों के दिलों में है, लोगों की आंखों में, अगर आप इसको हटाना चाहते हो, अगर आप पीस, अमन, शांति की बात करना चाहते हो, कृपया करके मिस्टर तालिबान अफगानिस्तान, इफ यू आर वाचिंग दिस, काइंडली कीप योर गन्स अवे, कीप देम फार अवे एंड स्पीक like matured communicative humans do. Then your communication is right without the guns. If your political narrative is right, then let's see how well the people of Afghanistan welcome you and accept you.
The last question, sir.
Sure.
The transformation in Taliban, Is it a change of their perception of ideology, or succumbing to the pressure of the international, what they saw in 2000, they don't want to repeat?
Probably it could be a strategy. It could be a probably a possible political strategy of sorts. They knew that if they're going to be the same Taliban of the old regime with guns and brutal force and so on and so forth, they will be lifted away, because they'll have again the US coming in, or Indochina, Russia coming in, international countries and their military, their troops being deployed, and again violence. So they cannot govern. Maybe it's a very smart political strategy where they want to keep the guns away, violence away, and they want to negotiate well, communicate well, to have a better developed country and a nation, so that they can govern and govern for long.
Very last. How long do you think this restoration of peace, the normalcy to return in Afghanistan, how long, how much more time?
Well, it's very unfortunate that the people of Afghanistan from so many years fell to the fake promises of the United States of America, who promised them something, but see again what happened. And then we had Hamid Karzai, then we had a Ghani, and so on and so forth. Now, I truly think that irrespective of Taliban or no Taliban, the people of Afghanistan truly deserve peace. They truly deserve not to see bloodshed across. They truly deserve a corruption-free government. I hope it is in the near future to come. It is in the near to come, and they deserve, like all of us Indians and the people, the citizens of the world, the people of Afghanistan deserve better governance and a better future and a better life to make this world a happier place.
Thank you so very much. This is what you heard from Mr. Abbas. He said, throw away the guns, embrace your people with love, then the whole country will prosper and the world will prosper. Keep watching Bangalore Akhbar with my colleague Asif. This is Ashfaq Ahmed Siddiqui. Jai Hind.